Let's take a look at the course that the riders will face this afternoon. Slightly different to yesterday's course, 28.8 kilometres, 2 laps of this course, missing out the northern loop that we did on yesterday's races. So 2 laps to decide who takes the rainbow bands, who will be the world champion at the end of today's event. We'll talk a little bit more about those skin suits in a second. This is Lennart van Velt, 21 years of age, about to get going. One of the Belgian riders that's in here, a stage winner in the under-23 Giro d'Italia. He's signed a contract now for Lotto Destiny. This is Hannes Wilch from Germany. Underway then for Hannes Wilch, rides for the DSM development team. Even does it make a difference getting into that aero tuck even on the climb, even when you're going so slowly?
Well, you can see here Bevert's still in that tuck position as he's going uphill. He's not quite over the crest of it yet.
He's fighting his way up over the crest of this climb. Here he comes.
And he'll be getting information from the car too that he's had the second fastest time coming through that time check.
Lennart van Velt, one of the favourites, 7.54 seconds down now as he goes through the key part of the split. Just before that, he was 14 seconds down. He's picking up his pace. Here's the arrival of our next rider up to the intermediate split. This is the last rider to leave the starting gate in this particular round of the first group of riders. This is Hannes Wilch. In the ballpark, 3rd overall, 21.33 seconds down.
Just watch the rider of Kazakhstan back into the drops. He's got that aero position for his hands that's been adopted by a lot of the riders. And you can see there with his shoe covers, a different material over the toes and then into a different material for the heel and the ankle. Yeah, and if they see their heroes actually out there winning time trials, it just inspires them to go and get a time trial bike and to work harder and to get out there and you know, see what they can do and specialise in that type of event. So second time up the climb now for Bevort.
Bevort has now caught the Eritrean rider as well. This rider is on a real mission this afternoon, Carl Frederick Bevort. He is setting the standard for everyone to try and beat out there on the course. And it looks like as he comes flying over the top of this climb that he really does have good legs this afternoon. The Eritrean rider just in the background, Bevort in the foreground, settles himself immediately into that aero tuck to try and stay as effective as possible over the top of this climb. He goes through with the fastest time at the intermediate time split, a time of 27 minutes 00.64. He's 1 minute 15 seconds ahead of the Kazakhstan rider. Gleb Brzezinski is the first rider to complete this under-23 individual time trial for the World Championship, and Brzezinski comes up to the line, an average speed of 47.2 kilometers an hour. His way towards the finish line. This is the rider who's going to set the standard for everyone to beat. The Danish rider, 18 years of age. He just finished 6th in their national road race championships. Carl Frederick Bevort. This is going to be a sparkling time trial by this rider as he makes his way in towards the finish. The youngest rider has completed the course. Carl Frederick Bevort with a time of 34 minutes 52.79, an average speed of 49.5 kilometers an hour.
Very, very impressive. So he's had a super fast finish as well, because the average speed was only 48.5 at the 20.
Mark Renshaw is the safety manager, as we see Lennart van Velt making his way in to conclude this individual time trial. This was one of the race favourites, but he's going to be beaten by the younger rider, Carl Frederick Bevort of Denmark, who's going to stay in the hot seat. Lennart van Velt up towards the finish line. The time to beat, 34 minutes 52.79, and Van Velt finishes with the second fastest time, 48.2 kilometers an hour. There's an incredible time trialist now in support, Tadej Pogacar, in that UAE Team Emirates squad. Here's the arrival of Leo Hayter at the intermediate time split. The time to beat, 9 minutes 2.83. And we'll see whether Hayter is going to set the fastest time. He's rushing in now towards this intermediate time split. It's going to be close, which gives you a good indication of Carl-Fredrik Vervoort's ride. But the fastest time, the first rider under 9 minutes, Leo Hayter, 7.27 seconds faster. He's perhaps the faster of the Italian riders who are coming up in this race.
Well, we get another time check here from Leo Hayter. See if he's extended his lead or if he's lost his lead.
The time to beat at this point is 27 minutes, 00.64. Look at Carl-Fredrik Vervoort. He is watching intently as Leo Hayter arrives at that intermediate time split, wondering what is the situation, knowing that he probably rode a very strong section all the way back down. Look at that. He's 23.41 seconds ahead of the Danish rider, who kind of looks at the time in disbelief. Here's the arrival, though, of the rider who is setting the standard for all the other riders to beat. This is Leo Hayter, the winner of the Baby Giro, the winner of the Under-23 Liège-Bastogne-Liège. Hayter is one of the race favourites. He has ridden a superb time trial this afternoon. He's lost time on the run-in, but he still goes top of the leaderboard. Top of the leaderboard, 49.9 kilometres an hour. Hayter goes into the hot seat.
Tipped to be one of those huge favourites. Well, he's outside the time of Leo Hayter, so it's looking good for the rider from Great Britain.
Settles himself back into that aero tuck, Mick van Dijk. It's going to be fairly down, third place, 13.53 seconds to the top three, Leo Hayter, Carl-Fredrik Vervoort and Mick van Dijk.
And it's not often we see that from Annemiek van Vleuten. Even on a bad day or an off day, we normally still see her up near the podium. But anyway, this is good news for Leo Hayter. Mick van Dijk, one of the big favourites, 41 seconds behind the time of Leo Hayter.
Is the Mick van Dijk powering his way back down to Wollongong for the completion of this individual time trial. This is the Under-23 World Championships. And that second split, it's Leo Hayter ahead of Carl-Fredrik Vervoort and Mick van Dijk.
He might have a mechanical problem here. I think he might have a flat tyre. You can just hear that. The rear tyre is flat.
Oh, terrible news.
Yeah, so you could hear that as he came out of the corner. You could see it moving around a little bit. He's got his spare bike now. Not too far from the finish. He'll be very disappointed about that.
He really was getting into his stride then, and there was the possibility that he could take back enough time on Vervoort to put himself into maybe second place. This might have cost him the podium. It's the arrival of the Dutch rider who just had the puncture in the last few kilometres. Mick van Dijk, let's see what his time is going to be. Well, at the second intermediate time split, he was 41.66 seconds down on the time of Leo Hayter. He looked to be riding a really strong race in towards the finish, but that bike change has really cost him now. Mick van Dijk is going to come in, and it's going to be a significant loss over the last few kilometres. Drops down to 7th place for Mick van Dijk. A disappointing end to what was a very good time trial.
The morale in the team will be high.
And here at the start line, it seems pretty calm.
3 stage wins in the Tour de l'Avenir. This rider was 4th last year. Can he now produce the performance in the same way that Tobias Foss did yesterday? Søren Valenskjold underway for Norway. He's looking good so far, isn't he? Look at that power transfer, the speed that he's managing to find.
He looks strong and powerful. Completely different rider to Leo Hayter. The smaller build of Leo Hayter and a higher cadence. And now we're seeing the big Norwegian really push the big gears.
2 more riders left in this particular wave. Clicking his way through the gears. It's going to be an interesting moment now where we find out how this rider is comparing to the current leader in the hot seat, who went through here in 8 minutes 55.56.
I think he's going to be just outside of the pace of Leo Hayter, which is really, really looking good for the rider in the hot seat from Great Britain.
This rider does have huge power. Look at the number of bikes he's got on that roof rack following him at the moment, helping with his momentum and his aerodynamics, weirdly. We'll talk about that in just a second. Soren Werenskjold, look at Leo Hayter, little smile on the face, a wry smile as he realises that the favourite for this title is 6.19 seconds down on the British youngster, who's still the only rider to go under 9 minutes.
Following now, Werenskjold, the favourite for today, he was 6 seconds behind Leo Hayter at the first time check.
Just to give you an update though, he's gone through the lap here in Wollongong, 2.3 seconds down on Leo Hayter. So he's now accelerating.
Yeah, another rider that I believe would prefer the second part of the loop, the second half of the loop that they do, and struggle a little bit more through that technical section. But this is the first time we've seen Leo Hayter's time under a little bit of threat from the race favourite.
At the moment, at this point on the course in real time, Soren Werenskjold is 2 seconds faster than Leo Hayter this start.
Well, he looks powerful, he looks strong, doesn't he? Soren Werenskjold, today's big favourite. Can he beat the time of Leo Hayter through this time check?
It looks like he suffered in the first part of this time trial, just didn't quite have the speed, but now there's no doubt this rider is on an absolute mission, and look at the time that could be coming up here. Leo Hayter's time, 26 minutes 37.23. He's having his recovery meal and enjoying watching. Gives a little bit of a shrug, and he was expecting it. Soren Werenskjold, the Norwegian, the race favourite, goes through 23.14 seconds quicker. The arrival then of the Spanish rider, Raul Garcia. Leo Hayter's time has gone by. He's going to finish just over 35 minutes. Raul Garcia of Spain rides for the Equipo Kern Pharma team on the road. Raul Garcia finishes with the third fastest time. He drops Caden Hopkins. The rider is making his way into the conclusion of this time trial. Here is the German rider, but not too far behind is the rider from Norway. Michael Hessmann is going to be outside the time of the current leader, Leo Hayter. Hessmann concluded this time trial. It goes red, signifying that he is outside the time of the leader, Leo Hayter. But I'm not so sure it's going to go red when we see the arrival of the Norwegian behind him. Michael Hessmann has finished in the second fastest time, 49.6 kilometers an hour. Things are starting to shuffle around in the hot seats.
A super exciting racing here in the men's under-23 World Championship. We start to see some really fast riders come out. Leo Hayter has been sitting a very long time in that hot seat, but the race favourite is about to come in, and he is well up on the time of Leo Hayter.
Leo Hayter enjoying his afternoon lunch. No popcorn there for him.
Here he comes, the big Norwegian, the favourite for today's race. Soren Werenskjold.
Is this going to be another medal for Norway? Is it going to be gold? The race favourite, Soren Werenskjold of Norway, is making his way to the finish line. There hasn't been a winner for Norway at under-23 level for 24 years since Thor Hushovd took the victory. Now it's Soren Werenskjold who makes his way across the line and goes into the hot seat. 24 seconds is the beating of Leo Hayter.
And that is going to be a super hard time to beat. To be able to go that much faster than Leo Hayter, who had an absolutely superb ride. We've got a lot of riders still to come in the last wave of riders, but the race favourite, Soren Werenskjold, he has impressed and delivered on the day. Let's see if it's good enough for the Under-23 World Championship.
He took the one title for the men in the Norwegian colours. Ellen van Dijk, the Dutch rider, won the women's time trial. Vittoria Guazzini took the under-23 for Italy. And look at this, what a time. Alex Seegert has just gone quicker by just over a second. Well, the Belgian rider is there. We knew that he had a chance of taking this title. The European champion is on a mission. Søren Varensholt doesn't know what to think now. Still eating, still drinking, trying to recover in time for the under-23 road race coming up later on in the week. Are Norway going to take 2 golds in 2 days? This is going to be pretty impressive if they manage it.
Well, look at that, out on the road. They are matching every single pedal stroke to this point on the course. They are absolutely equal in time with the live tracking. Button shot.
Logan Curry only 11 seconds down now on the time of Leo Hayter. We know, Rochelle, there's time can be found on the run into the finish.
Yeah, the strong, powerful riders that have got the distance in them, they can really bring back some time in the finish. Different parts of this circuit does favour different types of riders. And look at this, Seegart's really powering up Mount Ousley, and he had that rider to chase down.
This course has got some really tricky parts on it. These long drags that are so strength-sapping. Seegert heading towards the finish.
Yeah, this will give us a good indication when we get this time check at the 21.8 kilometre mark for Seegert.
Alex Seegert heading now towards the split, intermediate 2, and it's gonna go past. He was so close to the time of Søren Varensholt, and now it's starting to fade away. Suddenly it goes back in the favour of the Norwegian, second fastest time.
Yeah, he's happy to see that, isn't he?
Logan Curry outside the time of Søren Varensholt, but has he got a medal? It's still a fair distance to the finish line. The New Zealander is chasing it. Leo Hayter's time, 24.16 seconds outside that of the Norwegian Søren Varensholt. It looks like it's going to be just outside the medals for the New Zealander. Logan Curry, as he reaches the finish here in Wollongong, in that stealth kit, he is third fastest time at the moment, and he has to wait for the arrival of the Belgian. Here comes Alex Seegert, the rider from Belgium. Look at the time now, 10 seconds. He needs to get to the finish line. It's clocking its way down. He's got 300 metres to go. Alex Seegert has been the rider who has challenged Søren Varensholt all the way around this course, but it goes red. The world title goes to Norway. Again for day 2. Søren Varensholt will be the world champion. Alex Seegert, what's it going to be? It's going to be silver. The Belgian rider finishes second. He pushed Varensholt very, very close at the intermediate splits. But 2 days and 2 Norwegian gold medals. The favourite for the race, Søren Varensholt, takes the victory 24 years after Thor Hushoff. Belgium and Norway, a lot of years since they have figured at the top of the standings. Great Britain, surprisingly, not really figured in the under-23 titles. Leo Hayter giving them a medal.
Leaf flowers, the Hawaii power. The flowers will be presented by Wollongong City Lord Mayor Councillor Gordon Bradbury.